On that note, we're going to move on. We got another caller. We actually have bunches of callers waiting, but this one's special. Thomas is calling in from Kentucky, pronouns are he, him, and wants to ask you, Andrew, in what way does the Supreme Court weaponize religious freedom? But I'll let him ask that. So welcome, Thomas.
Okay.
Hi, Matt. Hi, Andrew.
How you doing?
Hi.
So, I'm doing good. First, I just want to say, Matt, it was actually you and Jeff D from an old YouTube video on the Atheist Experience that deconverted me from Christianity, and I became an atheist after watching one of those videos. So,
thank you so much for saying so.
Thank you. No problem. Anyways, I seen there was a topic that was in the live chat. It was a question that says, do you think the Supreme Court is weaponizing religious freedoms? And I'm unfamiliar. In what way are they weaponizing religious freedoms?
Thomas, I'm so glad you asked that. So I have a new book out called American Crusade, How the Supreme Court is Weaponizing Religious Freedom. And religious freedom has long been a shield, right? It has been this hallowed protection, something that guards all of us against government overreach. It often protects the minority from the tyranny of the majority. And it's a right that we possess equally, and which helps ensure that equality that we believe should be one of America's founding principles and have been fighting to realize for a couple centuries now, right? So religious freedom embodies those words that are etched into the edifice of the Supreme Court: equal justice under law. And it is supported by a strong separation of church and state. In fact, you cannot have religious freedom without a separation of church and state. But not anymore. None of that is true anymore. And that's because there is a well-funded, powerful network of Christian nationalist organizations and judges, a billion-dollar shadow network that has been working to weaponize the First Amendment, to turn the protection of religious freedom that's enjoyed by all into a weapon of privilege for the few. And this network of faithful and well-funded activist groups, we're going to call them crusaders, that's what I call them in the book, together with conservative justices on the Supreme Court, launched this crusade to weaponize religious freedom. And it really is a war of conquest, not of land. The crusaders are looking to conquer our Constitution and to remake it in their image. They are setting out to make America a Christian nation and warping religious freedom as an attempt to bring us all under their yoke, their rule. So if you look at some of the religious freedom challenges that have been brought before this court recently, they are superficially about coaches or Christian crosses and veterans or playgrounds and skinned knees or private school vouchers or bakeries and gay weddings. But really, they're about religious privilege, literally about privileging religion over non-religion and the right kind of conservative Christian over everybody else. The goal is literally to elevate conservative Christianity above the law, to exempt conservative Christians from the law while disfavoring non-religious and non-Christian citizens who are then required to follow the law. They want a weapon to codify their privilege and supremacy, and that weapon is religious freedom. Okay, wow. I think I convinced Thomas. I can keep going.
Thomas is stunned and doesn't even have the book yet.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like what you were saying is a lot of things that the Satanic Temple is fighting against. They're advocating women's rights and religious freedoms, and there's a lot of hypocrisy done by the conservative right in terms of not being fair to everybody with religious freedoms. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with when the Ten Commandments statue was erected in, I think, Arkansas. And I believe there was a Republican senator there that said there will never be a satanic Baphomet that's going to be erected right next to that. They're favoring one religion and they're basically saying to hell with the rest. I mean, that's not really fair and equal, in my opinion.
No, it's absolutely not. And I helped craft the lawsuit against that Ten Commandments monument that Jason Raper put up in Arkansas, and a couple others as well, in Pennsylvania and elsewhere. So, I mean, but that is the goal, right? The goal is to elevate conservative Christianity above the law. And it really is, the weapon that they're creating out of religious freedom really is exclusive, right? Again, we think of it as something that enshrines equality. That's what you're talking about. The Satanic Temple can come in and it can put up its own monument. No, because this is their weapon, not ours. You only get to wield the weapon if you are the right kind of religion. Again, right in scare quotes, if you're a conservative Christian. And the point is to reclaim the privilege that this dwindling minority had in the face of equality and demographic change. Right. So that this is the story that I tell in American Crusade, how the Supreme Court is weaponizing religious freedom, this decades long campaign. And I genuinely do not think you can understand what is happening in this country right now, from our politics to our culture to our law and our courts, without understanding this attack. This is why I wrote American Crusade. So what I actually do in the book is tell the stories behind the Supreme Court cases that make up this attack. I draw back the curtain on the assault because, sometimes we legal professionals get buried under legalese and civil procedure and judicial philosophies and levels of scrutiny and precedents, and sometimes we hide behind those things. It's often better to just cut through all of that bullshit that lawyers and judges build up around their profession. And American Crusade does just that. I wrote this for everybody so that you can pick this book up and understand what a very serious threat we face right now.
I agree. And
you agree you're going to pick up a copy, Thomas? That sounds like a good idea, my friend.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.